I obviously missed it, but why are you guys heading directly over there?
I had mentioned, like, I just got here, so I'll probably need to pick up a place to stay, but I don't have a lot of expendable cash on hand, so I might need to ask one of the fresh ships if they need any wet dock greening. Greening is cleaning off the underside of the hull. It's usually done on a dry beach to kind of use the tide to dry it off.
Well, I'm aware what it is, Mark. Jared, you're Marcus now.
And then I had mentioned I saw someone walk over and I saw someone walk over and there was people on a boat doing stuff, so I was like, oh, there's that boat there.
Okay, well, you guys are approaching. You see the same two ladies still unloading, as well as Lamb's Dampier. Unloading boxes from the boat into the warehouse here.
I'll kind of look through the people and see if there's anyone that appears to be kind of foremanning, pointing out jobs and stuff.
Well, you see the same man at the head of the ship still, just looking around, keeping an eye on the cargo that is being unloaded, as well as making sure the ship looks clean enough to sail out soon.
I'll head towards him kind of as I approach. Hey, wondering if you needed any help cleaning the underside of the hull? I have the talent for swimming and breathing.
Yeah, the guy responds, that actually sounds perfect. We intended on setting up doing that later down the line, but at a different island, but if you can do it now, that'd be perfect.
I don't have any tools myself, but I can definitely do that for you, if you have some.
Certainly do. Follow me to the back of the ship. That's where we keep most of the tools. He leads you back there with the tools, and after a moment grabs out a few, we call them scrapers, but they're essentially putty knives.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up my backpack, sack, and weapons in my cloak, and then loosen up, take off my leather armor, or my studded leather, so that way I don't get weighed down in the water.
Upon him noticing this, he says to you that you can leave your stuff here by the tools, so they don't get wet if you need it.
Thanks. And then I will kind of hold up the tool and wave down to Unan about, look, I've got a job.
He gives you a thumbs up and a smile that looks moderately dorky, like, yeah, good job. Way too enthusiastic for it not even involving him.
And then I will dive off the side of the ship.
And begin cleaning it from below?
Yeah.
Alright.
2 questions, Kel. A, does this boat have any damage on appear to have any damage on it? And B, is it damage that could be repaired with a mending spell?
Yes and no.
Okay, never mind then.
Could it be repaired with 2 people casting the mending spell?
If we get the entire Sun Soul Wizard Guild casting mending.
To answer Jared's question, yes. And also, the guy noticing you having jumped off and then realized there was no easy way for you to get back onto the boat, puts a ladder over the edge. One of those rope ladders. But yes, Marcus, if you're going to be looking for damage on the boat, what you see is that the mast has been damaged slightly from storms, but it's extensive enough that mending would not work on it, at least not by yourself. You can see some large chunks of wood missing from the floorboards if you were to go on the ship itself.
That's pretty much the only way he can be helpful, so that's why I was asking.
Well, if you take a moment to look around, you might notice other things that could be done.
That's right. Objects for mending is 1 pound per level.
Right.
Well, I guess technically you could probably be able to fix it if you expended multiple casts of mending.
It's a cantrip, so I can just keep casting it.
Orison.
There is some damage that you notice to the ship, though, that cannot be repaired with mending, period.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what his initial plan was. He was just going to go over and start casting it. Like, he wasn't going to talk to him, just, oh, there's damage, and just start fixing it. But, is there any, like, kids running around or anything, any urchins or anything like that?
Surprisingly, no, you don't see any. Seems as if they may be off in the town elsewhere and not really messing around with the docks.
Gotcha. I guess Unan's gonna walk up to the individual that's kind of saying where people can go that he saw San go to, and go pointing at Athos. She can pick up stuff and move stuff for you. And then he looks at her and she goes, "Sure."
Oh, we still have a bit of cargo left. You went up to the guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We still have a bit of cargo left to unload if you want to head down, and from what I was told, we just have to get the stuff off the boat. Most of it's set up at the stairs at this point. If you just want to begin doing that, bring it to the warehouse, and he points over to the warehouse in the corner.
Fantastic. And Unan goes off with her because he's just going to help her. Also, again, any and everyone in the world, even this guy, can see the glowing rune on both of their heads. If they know what summoners are, they would absolutely know that she is his Eidolon.
People have noticed it, but there's other things going on around here that they're more worried about, so they don't really pay it too much attention.
Right. I was just letting you know so that if one of them's like, "Why are you staying so close to her?" Like, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? Unless they don't know what summoners are, then it wouldn't be obvious.
Well, after giving you directions to just start moving stuff from the staircase over to the warehouse, he goes back to working on the ship.
Okay.
And if you want to do a perception roll for me, Marcus.
Perception on Unan is 23.
Well, as you begin moving boxes and you actually have a moment to take a look at the ship a bit closer up at this point, you notice that there is some small damage to the stairs that can be repaired through mending. There's also damage to the warehouse that can be repaired, though you don't know who exactly owns the warehouse. You just know that this is being used for where the boxes are being stored.
Okay. Pretty much as she carries boxes then, he's just walking by and just casually casting it on things he knows he can fix.
And upon doing that, a guard that is nearby happens to notice and walks up to you to ask you what you are doing.
He points at like one of the small broken things, fixing, and then it just basically points at it, and then I don't know, I guess snaps his finger, and then it just fixes.
The guardsman watches and lets you know that be careful about using magic within the city. It is not exactly permitted during the festivities unless you have a license.
He raises his eyebrows and goes, "I see. My apologies. It is in my nature," kind of motioning that he's towards his halo and shit, that he's an ASMR. "It is in my nature to be just good-willed and helpful. I will refrain from casting magic unless I have the authority to."
Well, after you say that, he walks away and goes back to his post.
Alright. Unan tries to help her. In the end, it basically, if an outsider was looking in, it appears that she is pretty well strong and has it herself, and is just humoring him that he's helping. That's it. Okay,
well, Lam is still unloading. Marcus is unloading. Jared is cleaning the ship, so back to Noah and Tate over here. Taurus and Kaz.
So, Kaz, what do you do for a living?
Currently, I am a merchant of finer wares and certain services. However, I've gotten into those certain services as of recently. I can't do much with it yet. I'm still seeking on the starters and whatnot.
Okay.
Mainly in my hometown, I just sell various baubles and shiny things, you know.
Sounds like you might actually want to go down to the port. They normally have new things coming in that you might be able to sell to merchants, or possibly get new things.
Or set up a supply line for this area, as I don't necessarily have any shop locations at this time. But yes, we should head to the port. That sounds like an excellent idea. I'll let you lead the way. I don't exactly know where that's at.
Can you follow me fine, or do I need to, like, hold your hand or something?
Oh, I can follow you just fine. I can still see you.
Okay.
After all, we are... This isn't Cass saying this, though. This is me. After all, we are going to the sea.
Well, I believe the port is this way, and I start going that way.
But how do you know?
You're asking out of
I
character?
don't-
Yes, I'm actually quite sure it's this way. I keep going. Wait a second. I had the map upside down.
Oh,
This normally doesn't happen that often.
As you guys are traveling along the pathway towards the docks, you guys notice that time has progressed. It's now about midday. The streets are fairly crowded. There are random vendors and stalls along the streets, and you can see people going in and out of their houses. Guardsmen keeping an eye on things. Some fireworks going off in the wooded areas.
While we're heading down this way, do you want to look at any of the stalls?
oh no, I can get a good feel for them. I'm already perusing their wares as we idly walk by.
I give a slight shiver as I'm still a little creeped out by that.
Turns out that he lied to Taurus. He can read thoughts.
Not gonna lie, it's one of my main things that I want to go for.
By the way, Tate, if you are actually trying to look at the stalls and whatnot as you are traveling, you're only going to pick up about a third of what's actually there.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. He's just getting an idea of what the town sells.
I mention this because you're trying to follow someone, trying to avoid people, and look at things on things.
In a dense crowd.
In a crowd, yeah. So, I mean, sure, I'll let you do it,
Oh, I know.
but...
He's just light glances. It's nothing to... I mean, I wouldn't even put even a third onto it, more like a fifth.
Alright, fine, you only noticed 5 of the things. Congratulations, you
That's
downgraded
fine.
the result.
That's fine. It wasn't really anything big. It's just idle thing.
And Noah has taken the route away from the actual merchant place, and Tate is going down the wrong way. As you guys approach this area, there are less people out and about, but it's still fairly crowded. You don't see too many stalls much anymore. It seemed to be off of the main pathways itself. What you see around you, though, is mostly residential. There are a few larger buildings that seem to be a guild of some description.
As we go by, I want to try and examine it to see which kind of guild and see what the symbol represents.
Oh no, which particular building?
Which ones exactly do I get a choice of?
The bigger ones. It's actually the same model that we used for the other campaign for the guild, so...
This one as we go by.
These models are so detailed. Except for some of them have block chimneys. They're also so big compared to these buildings.
No, can you roll me a perception?
Soon as I remember what my perception was. Nat 20, 25.
And you have knowledge planes, right?
Mm-hmm. Very much so, a lot of it.
Would you like to roll me one of those then?
Another 20, so 33.
Okay then. What you see on the front of that particular guild hall is a cross. However, upon closer inspection, that you are able to see some mystical energy coming out of it, and it forms a different symbol altogether. You can tell that this is energy from the plane of positive energy, which I forget the name of that I assigned to it off the top of my head. So you presume that this is where some certain spellcasters may go. Did you want to take a closer look to see maybe if you could find a name on the hall?
Yeah, I'd assume I'd stop after I was looking at the buildings and realize what it is. So, what does it say?
Well, you are able to find a label on it, but can you read Celestial?
It's not currently on my list.
If only you knew someone that could.
Did you want to spend time deciphering it through the linguistics skill? Because I know damn well you have it.
I mean, I could. I don't have the thing up for that, so I don't know how long it'd take. It goes like 10 minutes a page.
That's for transcribing it, apparently. For reading it, just roll me a linguistics check. There's only what appears to be 4 words on it, so... Wouldn't take long for you to be able to decipher if you can.
Not 19, so 24.
Well, unfortunately, you're unable to read it entirely, but You can pick up the first and last word as being blessing and bound. Do you want to spend more time reading the name, or did you want to continue?
I would like to finish that last bit. So another check?
Yes.
8. The good luck is gone.
8 in total?
Yes, I rolled a 3 this time.
Oh.
2020, 19, 3.
Well, unfortunately with that roll, you were not able to decipher the other 2 words that are in the middle.
I'll hold off on that and continue on my way before my friend possibly gets bored.
Oh, I didn't realize we started moving again.
So, take a look around. I'm gonna go spend some time at the edge of the docks.
Staring broodingly into the ocean.
Yes, with my legs over the edge. I quite enjoy the sea and water, unlike my last character.
At least you probably won't go fucking crazy around locks.
Yet. Is Kaz not following Taurus to the edge of the docks then?
I told him to look around.
It's not quite the same kind of locks.
Follow and look around at the same time.
Case the joint. I'm going in.
Sure.
And you guys could try to steal from a place if you really wanted to.
No, I would never steal.
Might run into some opposition.
I'm bound by
The
being
guards
awful
that you
good.
shouldn't mess with.
Okay, well, as you guys enter the docks area, you guys notice the warehouses, and a lot more people seem to be in this area, moving stuff around. Not a whole lot of festivities are actually happening on the docks, but you can see some people trying to have fun.
Oh. This place seems a little bit more bustly and lively. I think you may be right. This would be an excellent place if I decide to set up shop.
Are you guys going to do anything besides look around and hang over the edge of the dock?
I'm waiting for him to finish up. That's about it.
Oh, you taking a notice to anything? Or are you just looking around?
Each of these squares you said was 25, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I can't see anything unless I move another step forward, but I'm gonna do that.
I mean, it's probably assumed to an extent, Tate, that you're walking around. If you came here to walk around.
I know. Don't touch me. Say, touch me. Marcus, please. Kaz, I guess, was just kind of browsing around, talking to different various peoples and shops again. Reaching the small group at the edge of the pier. Greetings!
If we're talking about all of us, Tate, we're constantly moving.
Also, we're
I'm
not where
underwater.
we're also not where our square is technically.
Yeah.
It's just
We're basically moving between, like, here and here.
Oh god, a faceless demon, kill it!
He's kind of catching you over there then.
I like this idea that how wide it is to an extent. He basically just becomes a blind man, and he's like, "Oh shit, there's just flat ground. There's nothing."
I mean, there's other people and whatnot, besides where the water is. Though there's also other people where the water is. They're just not directly in the water, unless you're Jared, apparently.
Now Jared's in the water.
So
Greetings.
you're approaching this thing, then, Tate?
Yes.
Well, you can see that those three are busy dealing with boxes into a warehouse. Are you sure you want to interrupt them? Wouldn't that be rude?
It would be, but if I could just take a small moment of your time.
Are you just randomly, or are you trying to like stop
He's
one of
just
us
saying
while
it,
we're out?
trying to. He's just trying to get one of your attention. Anyone.
By the way, for specific locations, Lamb, you were coming out from the boat with another box, like off to the boat, and Marcus, you guys are like, I don't know, 10 feet outside the door to the warehouse.
Going which way?
There was a boat.
I'm sure we've passed by you a few times there, Lamb.
Oh,
Unan has definitely like smiled and waved at you as you guys are working.
Yeah, I greet you. It's just not. I just don't stop what I'm doing.
Fair. But yeah, then they just continue to load into the warehouse. Sorry, Tate.
And I mean, to be fair, Tate is more than 25 feet away. So
He doesn't. I don't think any of us really think you're talking to us per se. How much is left to unload there, Kel? Are we about done?
Do we want to roll percentiles?
There are 24 boxes left.
Okay.
How many boxes are we
Cat.
averaging a minute?
Kaz is gonna notice that there's boxes coming out of the warehouse. He's gonna go in and sit on one of the boxes as you
No.
guys are,
They're going into the warehouse, Tate.
Oh. Well, he's still gonna go in the warehouse and sit on one of the boxes. And kind of patiently wait.
I don't know if you can get in. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
Okay.
He's just waiting for one of you to notice.
I mean, I've clearly
Thinking one of you
noticed.
to come off the
Like,
ship and wondering what the and what.
We've noticed, but
we've
it's a
noticed.
case
I'm
of,
just
like,
not
we're
stopping my
working.
work.
In which case, he'll just continue to wait. He has questions for these merchants. His placement seems to be a little impeding. It looks like it was about to be a good set of stacked boxes, but he just kind of sat on one of them and blocked that area.
So we're putting these in the warehouse, aren't we? They're not just going outside.
Yeah, they're going into the warehouse.
Alright, well then, comedy movie style Tate, we bring one in, and we put that one down in a different spot than you were expecting us to, and then we leave. So you go, I'll get him this time, and you move to another spot, Lamb's character comes in, puts one down in a spot you didn't expect. Rinse, repeat this like 3-4 times. What are you gonna do now that you're not really in our way?
Well, he's still just patiently waiting. He just so happens to kick a few boxes into positions where you couldn't set another box down, and just kind of making it a little disorganized, just a tiny bit.
Kelb, is there any of the actual
little
crew
cops.
and whatnot in there watching this guy make a mess?
Well, there are those 2 girls that were moving boxes initially. They're still moving shit. The rest of the crew is on ship, cleaning it up down below, making it ready for any loading of cargo.
He's also making every time one of them comes in, he just kind of straightens up. Oh, hello.
Alright, I guess like the fourth time that we've entered and you do it, Unan goes, "Oh, have you been trying to talk to me?"
Yes, hello. My name is Kaz. I was inquiring to you, fine merchants. I see you've been unloading things.
No.
Quite dedicated.
You're mistaken. See, I've made a new friend who's cleaning off the bottom of the boat there, and I didn't want to not be doing anything, so me and my good friend here, Athos, are just helping out this crew and cleaning their stuff out and putting it in the warehouse. I don't even know if I get paid, but whatever.
I would just like to point out, as both of them are talking, he's slowly fixing some of the stuff he's messed up. Well, that's still good. Well, these goods, they, do you know who's the provisioner?
No,
I would be more than happy. Oh.
I am just
Then
helping
how
out
are
my new friend San. How do I pronounce the name, Jared?
Sandeep.
My new friend Sandeep. See, we're gonna go on an adventure, but he wants a place to stay.
He ponders for a moment. Adventure is a good... I never considered that. That is a good way to get provisions. Well, he speaks up. Well then, might I inquire that I am interested in investments such as that?
Now tell me, good sir, what are your abilities?
Well, you see, I am of the... Well, partially part of the clerical order. I am a necromancer of the good arts, not of the, well, let's just say more infamous brands.
Oh, I am aware. As you can see, he then takes a moment, realizing what he said. Pause for a minute. Calb, would I know and understand what his race is? Or would that require a knowledge check?
Let's go with knowledge.
Which one?
Good question.
Technically, I am trained in all of them, but I do have ranks in Arcana and Planes.
Let me quickly check on the S1B page, see if they're marked as anything in particular.
I mean, they are extra planar. They just happen to visit the material plane, so I'd say Planes would probably work.
I'll show you extra planar.
I'm gonna go with knowledge geography.
Okay. Knowledge geography, in that case, that is a 22. I rolled a 19.
Okay, well, you are aware of the SY race, and you are aware that they also exist on the southern part of the world. You would have not met many, if any, on your travels, though.
Fair. I just meant so he kind of knows, like when he says, as you can see, and then knowledge, I guess knowledge geography kicks in, like, oh shoot. Because they can't see. That's pretty much all I was going at, was if he had enough knowledge about them to understand some of that stuff. But anyway, so he goes, oh, my pardons. I am an ASMR. And see, that would have had a little issue if you were necromancy around me, because I am well, me myself, I am good and I follow the laws, but I seem to exude good or positivity. So much so that evil things around me, if they even touch my blood, they get hurt. So if you were an evil necromancer, then your stuff, maybe even you, would get hurt from just my blood.
That's out of conversations, I can't... That's a solid 1 on my list of... The first time I've ever heard anybody describe that their blood would hurt evil. I've never actually heard of that. I assure you, though, good sir, I am a very kind necromancer. I've studied under the clerical arts. I'm more of do it for life and death research. I never actually want to do anything of my less than reputable counterparts.
If you're interested in life, he points at Athos, she's my Eidolon. I basically created life. I mean, technically I didn't create life, I'm shaping life, but positive energy, plain stuff.
And the way that it's said every single time is going to annoy the shit out of me.
You too?
Can I just call it, like, an Aeon or a summon? I'm so much more used to that.
If you want to call it a summon, fine. But if you actually want to call it an Eidolon, then call it an Eidolon.
I'm gonna say summon. It's just easy.
It doesn't annoy me, but all I think of is Eidolon. Well, Igooby.
So
I don't know
anyway,
why.
yeah, just she's my summon. I mean, technically she's one of many summons that I'm connected to, and through me, their new souls are taking form. But whatever, it's okay. So you dabble with life too.
Yes, I do dabble in it. I have yet to unlock the secrets of that myself. I am working towards it, though. It is a goal of mine, with the blessings of the church, of course.
Oh, I will warn you. Getting into the knowledges of summoning magic, the more you focus on it, the less you really get time to focus on other aspects. I mean, I know, like mending spells and how to make myself have more defense, the mage armor spell, if you've heard of it. But I'm not quite as knowledgeable as, the wizards of the, the Sun Soul wizards, A lot of their wizards have a lot of spells, but anyway, we probably need to get back to work and finish this up before we get yelled at.
Well, if you don't mind, I would like to stick around because this adventure sounds amazing. I can't really help, per se. My strong suits are not in carrying.
Nor are mine.
Noah, has your character fallen asleep over there, or?
Yes.
Okay. Also, Lamb, while this conversation between Peyton and Marcus have been going on, please, it's gonna take me a moment to remember names. You would have ran into them at least once, or at least been able to overhear their conversation.
I'm just mostly keeping an eye on them, since I'm not entirely sure what either of them are, but as of yet, it's not really my business.
So then, I guess at that point, I'm walking back to the ship with Athos and continuing our job.
Alright, well, if there's nothing else going on with that, Jared, you're under the water, cleaning up the ship.
And you are attacked by sharks.
Lamb, please. Shark topusses, thank you. They have tentacles. Don't forget them.
Can you roll me
Lock sound.
Jared, can you roll me a swim check? But I think you'll fail that. And 2 strength checks.
10 on the swim.
Yeah, what about the strength? Or the 2 strengths?
11 on the first strength. 10 on the second. And you said 2 more?
No, it was just 2 strength checks in general.
Okay.
So it was 10, 11, 10 for your rolls?
Yes. And I have a 30-foot swim speed. Pretty sure it's just the 30.
For you, yeah, it should be. Anyway, you notice that there is a bit of a strong current down below the ship. You're not entirely too sure why, but you don't have too much of a problem dealing with it while also cleaning the ship itself. There are a few spots that give you a bit of trouble, but given enough time, you're able to get them cleaned.
Sorry, the swim check was actually a 12. I still had my medium low stats.
Well, the result doesn't really change much. You're exactly 2 points better on the roll, gives you a slight more advantage against the current, but not enough to really change the outcome. At this point, Jared, since we would have gone back in time a little bit for you, you have about a third of the ship done.
And that took about how long?
Say 2.5 hours.
I'll probably try and continue for about that long again.
Once more, roll me a swim check and 2 strengths.
16 on the swim.
And the strengths.
13. 6.
Too bad you're not Lamb.
One more swim check then, Jared.
Can't already use my once a day.
16.
Again? Okay.
Yep, I rolled 8 again.
Well, with those new rules, you are able to get adjusted to the current that is underneath the boat pretty damn fast. At this point, you are able to clean up about 3/5 of the ship. However, there seems to be one spot that was giving you 3/5 more of the ship, not 3/5 in total. 3/5 more of the ship, and however, there was one spot that was giving you a bit of trouble, but using the current to your advantage, you're able to get enough strength behind it to scrape off the moss and whatever else was there.
If there was like a really tough spot, I might try using guidance to help with it.
What is guidance?
+1 on a attack roll, savings throw, or skill check.
Oh. Yeah, it's not necessary.
But it's free.
So you have a little bit left of the ship.
What time of day does that put it at?
You would be at like 11.
I'll check to see if they're still unloading, and if they are, then I'll just keep working on it.
It would still be unloading.
Okay, then I'll try and get the rest of it.
Alright, a swim check and a strength check then.
Maybe I can roll higher than a 10. 27 on the swim, 8 on the strength.
Given it enough time, the last 15th of the ship, which apparently is what would be left after I said third and 3/5 more, it gives you a bit more trouble, but it seems to be where the most heavily concentrated amount of everything is. It would be creating additional drag on the ship. But it takes you about another hour to finally clean it off to a working situation, so you would be done around noonish when they are still unloading.
I will probably, when I put the tool away, grab my sharpening stone and clean off the scraper.
You can spend long on that, or just a few minutes?
Yeah, probably like at most 15 minutes, if it needs that. And then I will head over to the captain and let him know how I did.
Well, he turns to notice you, and as you let him know how you did, he takes out a small bag, presumably with money in it, and says to you that, well, unfortunately, I don't know how good of a job you actually did. However, you have been down there for quite a while, and I do trust that you actually did something. So, here's your payment, and he hands you a bag. Or that bag.
I reach for it, kind of half bowing, saying thank you.
He notices that you did that and just goes back to work.
I will kind of look, scan around for Marcus as I head down.
At this point, he would actually be inside the warehouse talking to Tate. You would not see him.
So I'll catch one of the people unloading. He's like, did you see a kind of silver-haired man with a armored woman?
They're in the warehouse at the moment.
Thanks. And I'll head in.
I can open up the bag, Jared.
Yeah, now that I know where he's at, I'll skim through the bag.
You can see the bag is full of 47 copper pieces and 8 silver.
That's lucky. I thought Kelb was gonna say it was full of specifically left-hand pinkies.
Excuse me?
I thought I was just gonna have sand.
We're the pirate raiders known as the Pinkies.
Well, I assume if if Jared's walking in, that would be, I guess, the moment then when I got done talking with Kaz, since he never got in the conversation.
Yes. And Lamb, you're still just doing shit with boxes then after answering Jared.
Yes.
So, Jared, you're going to be entering the warehouse, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Oh yeah, and I put my armor and cloak and stuff back on, but I've got my hood down.
So I wondering if you'd remember to grab your stuff or not. So yeah, you go to the warehouse and you notice Unan and whatnot in there.
Hey Unan, I got the ship mostly clean. Got some stuff for it.
Fantastic. Pointing at Kaz. Hey, look! I recruited another adventurer.
Interesting.
Unan leans
Hold on,
into
cleaning my
towards
glasses real quick.
Unan leans in towards Hassan for a minute and goes, he's an Astamoy, which means he can't see, so probably don't mention stuff about sight. And then he leans away with a smile on his face.
Greetings.
I've
My
heard of them
name is
before.
Kaz.
They see, but differently.
Greetings. My name is Kaz. Don't let my appearance fool you. I assure you, I am more than happy to see you.
Yay for neutral relationships.
I just put on a great face when it comes to meeting new people.
Well, I'm Sandeep.
You know, out of all the people I've met today, I don't think I... may I inquire as to what you are? I don't mean to seem rude or anything, but...
Oh, I'm an Undine. We're kind of humans that have lived in the Querus for a while. The water plane.
Ah! Kind of like my race. Ah, that makes sense then. So, I assume that our mutual acquaintance, Unan, has explained to you that I have inquired to join your adventuring party.
Well, he mentioned recruiting you. So you're looking for some travel too?
Indeed I am. I also have a partner. He escorted me over here. He's actually... I don't exactly know where he is. He was over somewhere in that direction. He kind of points over here, kind of.
That'd be to the south, by the way.
It's kind of... Yeah, to the south. He goes, he's over there somewhere. I can't exactly get a good feel for him.
And for future reference, north will always be pointing towards Jared and Tate's side. Every single map will be developed with north pointing in that direction.
I am north. Damn, I should have been south. Yes, but my friend was... He's, he might be interested. I'm pretty sure he's interested. In fact, I'd more than say he'd be happy to join us.
TV quick cut. No.
Just the opposite cuts to Noah, and he just looks at the camera and shakes his head. No.
No.
Anyway, Unan looks at Sandeep and goes, I have to finish this job. You wanna go with Mr. Kaz here and go meet this guy?
I got nothing better to do.
He jumps up off the box and stands. Well then, shall we go?
Sure.
I assure
So
you
what's
I
this
won't
guy
be-
look like?
Oh, he's a courier of sorts. I actually don't know Tarsus. I know he's a fletchling.
Fetch.
And all like the
He's
fetch
a-
of all.
He is a fleshling.
No, he's a.
I think
he's a
fleshlings are something else, Tate.
He's a fletchling. He's a Pokemon.
He's a meatbag.
Don't know if I'm as familiar with them.
I'll be able to point him out when we get closer.
Do you know your way
I have
around town
excellent
yet?
vision.
How long have you been here?
I just arrived actually today. I was interested in setting up a merchant shop, expanding my store per se.
Oh,
He
so
is
you're...
definitely not. He is, by the way, he is ignoring the fact that his store didn't do well in the Astamoy homeworld, home region.
So you're looking to set up deals for some trade goods?
Indeed, I'm more than happy to find anything that could sell well, be well, or do well, as well as other unique goods and services. But I first have to research them.
Yeah, my family was in that business, so yeah, I kind of know that. My mom and dad ran a bazaar back in home. Dad often sailed around and, along with negotiating some stuff for our town, he picked up different knickknacks and things to sell.
Not to be so trivial on the matter, but how bizarre that your parents would be merchants and I just happen to be a merchant, aspiring merchant.
Well, this is a trade town, or at least it's got a port, so imagine there's going to be plenty of us trade folk.
Indeed. I just hope to get ahead of the competition, per se, and offer something that the likes of which the town hasn't seen before. Or wherever we set up.
Yeah, it's going to depend on where the town is.
I'm guessing we've kind of stepped a little bit further now.
God, I would hope so. You guys aren't just fucking standing still talking while trying to walk at the same time. That was your initial goal. It would defeat the purpose of walking if you're standing still and talking.
I mean, if they get too into it, one of them might accidentally walk off the pier.
Yeah, who knows?
Kaz steps into about here.
Steps into the water.
No, not into the water. No, he can see the water just fine. He goes, there he is. I see him. I see him now.